Hi, we are at the North Florida Grand Design Rally, and we are at, what's the name of this place? Something Oaks.
Island Oaks?
Island Oaks, yes, RV Resort. There's a big Super C going right behind you. Definitely not a Grand Design. But anyhow, we own a Imagine XLS, and it is model number 24 MPR, and they only made 154 of those.
Is that right? I didn't think it was that many, but okay.
Yep. I went back and double checked.
Okay.
And it is the only Imagine with a garage. So every rally we go to, we're the only one there with the 24 MPR. But I heard yesterday there's going to be a second one here today. So we're looking forward to running into that person and seeing theirs, and they can see ours, and we're going to show you guys ours now so you can see what on earth an Imagine with a garage looks like.
Yeah. And also we're going to show you some upgrades that we have done since we've owned it.
We've done a lot of upgrades.
A lot. Okay, well, here we go. I'm going to turn around and let Tony get started, and we're just going to go around the outside first, and then we'll take you inside.
All right. First upgrade we did to this was we put a cover on the tongue jack. It's an upgrade, I guess. I liked it because it's got the little hooks to hold your chains up out of the way. But anyhow,
and it protects
all joking aside,
it protects the electricals from getting all wet. And
it does.
Yeah.
Tongue jacks are very bad. They're notorious for allowing water inside. So it is very prudent to actually keep them covered up, even if it's just like a 5-gallon bucket over the top of it. Keep it covered up. One of the first things that we did too is the MPR came with 2 of the 20-pound propane bottles. We upgraded to 2 30-pound propane bottles. Secondly, we added a second battery. So we've got 2 interstate deep cycle batteries here. As you can see down here, we added a snap pad.
Yeah, which we added all the way around on all of the scissor jacks as well.
Yep, all the scissor jacks have the snap pads. Tongue jack's got a snap pad. And moving around here to the side on our awning, on the other arm down on the end, we added a Dometic wind sensor to it. And that kit comes with a remote control too, so not that we ever really use it, but if we wanted to, we could sit out here in our chair and use a remote control to wheel the awning in and out. But if a big strong wind comes along, it will roll the awning up and put it away.
Steps.
Oh, of course, the steps. We've done so many upgrades to this. I'm probably going to forget some. Anyway, here's the most recent upgrade. A lot of people with fifth wheels like these because your door handle is up so high and you have to walk up a couple steps, open the door, walk back down to go back in. But our camper sits a little higher than most travel trailers, and I think it's because it's built to handle weights with the garage and all. But this is just a nice convenience, you know. You just wham, doors open, and then you get to see my other upgrade with the grab handle. Yeah. Oh, and our Lippert dog screen. Yes.
Because our little dog tore to pieces.
That's right.
Several times.
And then we've got our latchet door lock assembly here.
Mm-hmm. Keyless entry.
Yeah, so combination, key fob, right? So man, just right here on the door, we've got what, 4 upgrades to it.
Mm-hmm. And then of course.
Yeah, why we even came to the door. Yeah, we've got the Lippert solid steps that flip up into the doorway. This really went a long way taking the wobble out of the camper. Even though you still, when you're inside, you can still feel each other walk around and all that. As tight as you can get them scissor jacks, it just can't take all the wobble out of it.
Yeah. And when installed, we just left our other steps under there. We didn't remove them or anything. We just, you know.
And I know MoreRide makes a storage box that you can put under there. You just remove the step assembly, put the box under there, and then you've got a little extra storage for whatever, hoses, whatever.
Yeah.
Next upgrade. Oh, yes, the Girard tankless water heater. Yeah, that is a very nice upgrade. However, the downside for this has been when it gets really cold outside, and I mean like 40, 45 degrees outside, you have to not run the hot water pressure in the shower, for example. You can't run it full blast like you normally would because this guy can't keep up with cold water. So if you figure 40 degree water coming into the camper, it needs longer to heat it. So you have to turn the pressure down on your shower. So it's a downside, but I guess in the summer times when you're hot and sweaty and you like those hot showers, you can take as long of a shower as you want. So, looking down here at our suspension, we added the MoreRide SRE 4000. And I know some people would say, hey, that's overkill.
Trying to get in there and see it. There we go.
Yeah.
Love the X-Chalk things.
But the SRE 4000's got like 4 inches of, I don't know what you'd say, stroke or movement. It's just got a big rubber grommet in there. And man, it takes so much of the vibration and when you're hitting those potholes in the highway, it really dampens a lot of that. So I've been thoroughly happy with those. I would highly recommend those. The CRE 3000s are good, but I think the 4000 is a much better product. And then we've got the TST on the valve stems there. Please forgive my dirty camper. But yeah, that keeps track of the temperature of the tire and the air pressure of the tire. So if you find while you're going down the highway that you got a tire that's heating up, that's getting hotter than the other 3 tires, then maybe a bearing failure getting ready to happen, and you can do something about that before you have a catastrophic blowout or lose a wheel. Right.
This right here is the wind sensor.
Yes.
Right there. Dometic on a Lippert Solera awning.
That is correct. Let's see, on the back, what did we add? Nothing.
So,
In fact, we took away the Furrion camera bezel that they had on there from the factory. It was, the seal around it was dried up and was actually letting water in.
Yes.
So we removed it, put a piece of Eternabond tape over the hole. Over here on the back side of the MPR, this is all Grand Design put on here. It was just this little grab handle. Well, I went ahead and added a big D handle to it. It's nice to be able to flip it over the door, but with as steep as these stairs are, I love having the big D handle so much better than the little grab handle.
Yeah, and not that we use the back door a lot, but again, these steps coming in and out of them puts a lot of shake in the camper, and depending on where you're parked, you can see how high this is, and sometimes, I mean, it can be 2 or 3 feet off the ground, but we do have an extra step here that we use. This little thing is amazing.
Yep. So if we ever have that, God forbid, in the middle of the night, a fire or something like that, it's not that big of a step off the last step.
Yeah.
And then you can see we put a combination door lock assembly on the back door as well.
Yeah, that's the RV lock.
Yep, got 2 different brands on there. And I kind of did that just to see, they're the 2 dominant name brands in the industry, and I just wanted to see, which one holds up better. This one is predominantly plastic. The one on the front door is predominantly metal. So, you know, we'll see. I've already had to replace the
keypad. Yeah.
it's basically just a big sticker that goes over it. But you can see this one's chipping and falling apart now. But I just replaced the sticker on the front one because it was really, really deteriorated from UV damage and whatnot. But they gave me one for free. Can't beat that. All right, what's the next thing? Next easy thing is we added a slide topper to our slide out to keep debris and rainwater off the top of the slide out. This is a big thing right here. We upgraded this from a 30 amp service to a 50 amp service. So we had to put the new 50 amp inlet on there, buy a 50 amp cord, run a 6.3 Romex from the inlet all the way to the breaker panel. Then we had to upgrade the breaker panel to accommodate 2 legs of 50 amps with a bigger converter. And then after we did all that, the wife wanted a second air conditioner, so we got a second air conditioner for the garage, as I'll show you. So and I didn't realize I didn't think that we would need a second air conditioner. It's a small camper, but now that I've got a second air conditioner, I wouldn't do without it. It really was a nice upgrade. Let's see, upgrade.
The plumbing, which we've already talked about in other videos.
Yep. On the MPR, you can see right here where it says gray tank. There's a pull valve underneath there that's missing a handle. I've got to get my handles replaced. But Grand Design had the kitchen gray tank on its own discharge right here. So you had your pull handle, and then I had to get the sewer hose and hook it up to a discharge right here. That's really kind of a pain in the neck. I mean, who wants to run 2 sewer hoses, right? So I took the discharge out of the equation and plumbed in this down to the main discharge where the black and my shower gray tank are. I did have to find a double Y, so it was a 3-inch discharge with 2 1.5-inch Ys on that, and that was kind of difficult to find, but we ended up finding it. And once I got that, I was able to plumb this down there to that. So all of my valves, I put backup valves in the equation, so if ever a cable valve fails, I've got a backup valve. So it's a way more robust setup than what the factory gave it. That is a mucho bueno upgrade in my opinion. I did put the Lippert, what do they call that? Flow?
Flow. Mm-hmm.
Flow. This is for winterizations. We plug it in. It's got a hose you hook up to right here that hooks right up into the water line system, the plumbing, and it just blows air through all the water lines. So you open up your low points, it blows everything out the low points. You go around the coach, open up each fixture, flush your toilet, and it just blows air through everything. I'm kind of the mindset that I like antifreeze better than just blowing, so after I do this, I will go ahead and put antifreeze in my lines too. It's just extra assurance. If there's any water left over, that antifreeze is going to at least push it out or dilute it, so I don't have any freeze issues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of the upgrades that we did inside, I had to move the water pump and the slide out controller somewhere, and what I ended up doing was moving them right here. So as you can see, got our water pump over here and our slide out controller right here, and here in a second you'll see why I had to move all that stuff, but that's part of an upgrade right there.
So while we're out here, I want to talk a little bit about it being a toy hauler and how it towed, and people would use it for different things. I'm gonna turn this around here. But we would put our golf cart in it, and one of the things that we found with that is that it did not tow well.
Correct.
It was too much weight behind the axle. You can see that the axle is it's kind of like at the beginning of the garage, and I know you can't see exactly where that starts, but it's like right here behind the slide out. So the golf cart was behind the axles, and that created it just didn't tow well. So we were going to go up to more ride and get new axles put on and have them moved back some. But in the process of all of that, we were looking for a new truck because we were using our work truck. And in the look for a truck, we came across a flatbed, and that kind of just solved all the problems. So there's our flatbed, which we now tow our golf cart on. So we no longer needed to do the upgrade on the suspension and axles and all that. So the garage is now our master bedroom, which you're gonna see in just a minute. All right.
Which is another reason why I went with the SRE 4000s on the equalizer replacements on the leaf springs, because we were going to go with independent suspension and hydraulic disc brakes and all of that. But since we weren't going to do that, I went ahead and did the 4000 upgrade. And like I said, if I bought this camper again, that'd be one of the very first things I'd put back on is another SRE 4000. It's absolutely worth it.
All right, ready to go in?
Let's go. Oh, right here.
Oh.
Right here under our feet.
Yes.
This green sewer hose is the Lippert Waste Master. Masters the waste. But if you look up there under the slide out, you can see where it connects. And you can see the little green lever there. Well, it's got two of those. Those are called cam locks. And it's the same exact setup as what you would see like on a gasoline tanker trailer. So when they deliver gasoline to the gas station, they don't have bayonet fitting hoses like our typical campers do. They have cam lock fittings. So Lippert thought it would be a great idea, leak-free, reliable, dependable. We're not going to have any accidents with cam locks. So yeah, you have to put a new end fitting on the end of your discharge. But man, that hose, it goes right up in the discharge. Click your cam lock shut, it ain't coming out, and it ain't leaking. And then of course when you're traveling, it's got a cap to put up in there, lock it shut, and it's mucho bueno.
Well, and since you pointed that out, let's talk about our power hookup here too. What you got going on here? You've got, looks like two different things here.
Yeah. The big gray box on the ground here is the Hughes Auto Former, and it's got power surge protection in it and things like that. But its predominant job is to protect the camper from brownouts. So if this was the middle of July and everybody's here camping and everybody's running their air conditioners, the park voltage is getting drawn down. Well, if you're ever in a park that doesn't have a real robust electrical system and that voltage gets drawn down too much, well, you're going to do damage to the compressors in your air conditioners, because the low voltage will drive the amperage up, and when that amperage goes up in those compressors, it'll end up prematurely wearing them out, if not causing them to fail. So with the Hughes Auto Former, if the voltage gets down, I think it's like around 105 volts, something like that, it'll bump 10 volts up. So if everybody in the park is getting 105 volts, our camper is getting 115 volts, because the Auto Former will produce 10 more volts of electricity to help protect electronics and air compressors and air conditioners and things like that. And then of course we've just got the Watchdog. The Watchdog does everything that the Hughes Auto Former doesn't. And of course it's got the app that goes with it, and it shows you amp draws and voltages and all that good stuff. One's good, but both of them is superb.
Let's go in. If we don't find something else to talk about.
Okay. So this is the living room. And this is where the biggest upgrade happened.
Cut the hair off.
There we go. So where the curtain is, there used to be a Murphy bed there. And that was Grand Design's idea of, you know, where do you sleep? So they had the typical toy hauler sofa right here that would roll down so that it was flat, and then the Murphy bed would just flip down on top of that. We tried sleeping in it a couple nights. I can't stand sleeping between the closets. Every time I would roll over, my arms were banging into the closet walls and all that. I didn't like it at all. So ultimately what ended up happening was we took the Murphy bed out, we took the couch out, and the couch had 2 drawers underneath it, and that's where the water pump and the slide out controller was on the floor underneath the couch. So when I removed all that stuff, I had to find a new home for the water pump and the slide out controller. And so that's why it got moved to where it is. And I ended up having to plug up holes in the floor where the water lines and the wires were running through. And I had to do some crafty little work with the linoleum down here to cover up the plugs in the floors. It ended up being a little time consuming of an upgrade, but so much better. We got these recliners. They were on clearance at Camping World. Now we can scoot them out, kick the guys back, watch TV comfortably. It was so hard to get comfortable on that toy hauler sofa. It was about near impossible.
Right. I'm going to let Tonya hold the camera here for a minute. And it's a mess, but I'm going to kind of show you what we did behind here. So I just got a regular shower curtain rod, put the curtain up here. In behind here, we put our shoes up there. I've got these extra little things here that I put another clothes hanger on. A shower rod. Hooked it to it, just kind of hold it in place. We put our jackets and stuff back here. You know, and then we just put the curtain up to hide it. We created so much space here, you know, by getting rid of that Murphy bed. The Murphy bed, I mean, all of this was just wasted space. And it's just he and I. And we created our master bedroom in the back, which we're going to get to. So we turned this wasted space into a lot of storage space. Yep. All right. So I guess you want to show them where we moved the plumbing to.
Well, one of the other upgrades, in my camping experience, there's been moments where you spring a leak somewhere and you're like, I got a leak. And then you got to run outside and go shut off the water so that you can stop the damage, right? Well, sometimes it's late at night and you're in your pajamas and you're camping someplace where it's all rocks and dirt, so now you're finding shoes to put on so you can run out and turn the water off. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take care of this issue. So when I showed you in my pass-through storage and I showed you where the flow was, I actually did an upgrade here. I put a water cutoff inside of our cabinet down here, which is the front side or back side of that little small water bay that I've got in the pass-through. So the water hose comes into the wet bay and goes straight to that cutoff valve.
Yep, I need some light.
I'm sure you saw it.
Where's my phone? I can cut all that out.
Yeah, you can. It's right there. Yep.
Okay.
And right now, the light blue handle, it's down, which means that the water's on. But if I ever have an instance in the camper where something springs a leak and it's making a mess, we got to get the water shut off, all I got to do is run over here to this cabinet and just turn that handle and the water is cut off.
All right. So I guess let's talk about this area right here now, where our TV is, and then of course down here we've got the power center and all that.
Yep, this is the upgraded power center down here. So it had the typical 30 amp, you know, little miniature 8955 WFCO power center, and we've got a 50 amp progressive dynamic going on. So now we've got our 50 amp mains, our 2 legs of service, power converter down here, and yeah, that's that's gotten us a long way to where we're going.
Yeah. So while we're here, another huge thing is that the air conditioning would blow. There's like this track, and on this side of the camper, if you were in the bathroom, you would get blown away. So how did Tony fix that?
Well, when this camper was brand new, I ordered an RV airflow for it and installed that. But what I discovered not long after doing that is that the duct work that runs off this side of the air conditioner literally ran and went straight to the bathroom vent, and that's where it ended. It had one vent on that whole trunk line, and it blew so hard out that vent. You would be sitting on the toilet and your hair would be blowing. It was blowing so hard, and I was like, man, it'd be nice to have some of that air in the living room, because it kind of struggled a little bit out here. So I cut a hole in the ceiling, which went right into that trunk line, and put a vent there, and man, that went a long way to decreasing the flow in the bathroom, but adding flow out here. So that was one of those must-have upgrades right there. Mm-hmm. And then as far as the wind sensor, Dometic, the remote control hangs out right there. It's a little magnetic thing, but the controller is right here. So that's the brain of it all. That's what wheels the awning in when it gets too windy outside.
Mm-hmm. So when we're traveling, this right here kind of becomes my office area. This pops up, so I'll usually slide my chair up, put my keyboard in my lap if I have paperwork laying around, but this kind of becomes my office area. Tony never uses the office.
No. Another upgrade that we did is Grand Design had put in all three vents, they had the little 3-inch, the little cheap white plastic 3-inch fans in all three of the vents. There's a vent here in the kitchen, one in the bathroom, and then one in the garage. I was grateful that all of them had fans in them, because normally you just get a fan in the bathroom and that's it. But we went ahead and removed all of those and put the big Max Air, I can't remember, the premium. Anyway, I didn't have to put the exterior vent cover on. It's all one piece. So when I crank the handle and the vent lid opens up, well, that vent lid is also the exterior vent cover. Yeah, so I can have these vent lids open in the rain. So that was a huge add-on for the bathroom, for the kitchen, for the garage, until we added the second air conditioner, and then I had to take it back out. So, but again, worth it. What did we do in the bathroom?
The vent.
Yeah, we got the Max Air fan.
Just hung some stuff here in the shower for extra holding.
The controller for the tankless water heaters there on the side of the cabinet.
Yeah. Originally, he had this back in the master bedroom, and Tonya couldn't change the temperature, so he moved it in here for me, which was a blessing. Now I can do my 110 degrees while he does his 118.
Yeah. Now this is the garage, and it's it's not super roomy, but I mean you could get a couple motorcycles in here. We got our golf cart in here with no issue. Mm-hmm. And what Grand Design did is they made bunk beds that would mount to the wall, so that's why you see that there's two windows here. Mm-hmm. You can see the top of it there, but there's two windows. That was for the bunk bed assembly, right? But you could also take the bunk bed assembly and break it down into a queen size bed. Yeah,
and here's the framing, which we did end up bolting down because in the travels it would start bucking under.
It would scoot around a little bit.
Yeah.
But the bed is actually mounted to the wall, and then it's got its legs underneath to hold it. We got a custom made mattress to fit the dimensions of this platform, and before we had the flatbed truck, we would have to break all this down, put it up against the walls, strap it to the walls, get the golf cart in here, strap the golf cart down to the floor, which it's got, you can see right there in the floor, it's got lots of tie downs in the floor. But now that we have the flatbed, we don't have to put nothing in here anymore, so the bed just stays where it is. And like she said, I screwed the legs down to the floor so it don't scoot around anymore. And the bed just stays right here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the second air conditioner right here, not thermostatically controlled, but it does have the ceiling pack, so everything's controlled from here. And I did get it with the heat strip in it, so I can put it on heat low, turn the thermostat to hot, and this guy will put out some heat, and it helps that I don't have to burn so much propane for the furnace.
Yeah. Now, originally, this air conditioner was the main air conditioner that came on the coach. It's a 13.5.
Yes,
Yep.
it's a Coleman Mach 8, 13.5 BTU, and then we moved it back here, and then got a 15,000 BTU Coleman Mach 8 to put over the living room.
Mm-hmm.
So
We stay cool.
We stay cool. It's an upgrade that I'm glad we did.
Yeah. I don't think there's really anything else back here. I'm going to come around here. So, yeah, we've got stuff we put in here on the floor that we were traveling with. But so you can see it's got some storage over here and a sink with another medicine cabinet. Kind of could be considered his and hers. I do keep all my makeup and stuff in here, but I'm kind of the lazy sort. So when I get ready in the mornings, I go sit at my office and bring all my stuff in there and get ready. Overall, just for Tony and I mean, there's a good bit of storage space in here. We do hope to, in the future, to go full solar, and our plan is to put a lot of that equipment underneath the bed and maybe do a different frame in here. So we're not done with our upgrades. We still got other things that we plan to do.
Yeah, I'm planning to do a full roof of solar panels, and to do the Victron Multi Plus, a 6 battery bank. I want to be able to absolutely be self-sufficient, so we could just stop anywhere, and on a full charge of batteries, we could run an air conditioner or, whatever, It would just be nice to be self-sufficient, not have to worry about some place to plug in or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. So these days, we very seldom let our garage open. We don't really have a need to. We had considered doing a platform, a patio. I think I've kind of changed my mind against that, but who knows? I'm a woman. I may change it again.
Okay.
So, well, that's our camper. That's our upgrades. If you have any questions, just shoot out to us and let us know. Some of you other 24 MPRs were interested to see any changes, upgrades you might have done to your camper.
And don't forget to click the bell, subscribe. It's the same thing everybody says in their videos. And there's a reason why. We appreciate it. Yes. And it helps in the process of making more videos. So we thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.